And good morning. Welcome to Poppy's Workshop. And it is the 10th of March. And you'll notice that, oh my, we're not on the workbench right now. And yeah, actually, the workbench has a lot of junk on it. This has been a busy weekend rearranging the workshop and making a mess out of it because I received a new saw this weekend, a Pegasaw, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's see, what other things are we going to talk about today? I will talk about what is on the workbench. You've seen most of it. I'll show you a couple things and see what I need to finish this week, or actually, I'm not in a rush to finish. Um, but my goal this week, I have, oh my gosh, let me see, 10 on the workbench. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 17, 18, 17 or 18 more things to um, finish. And then I have some other projects that I was working on. I'm going to try and do some love spoons this week. I cut out the blanks a while ago and want to finish those. But what I wanted to start off with is this right here. Um, let me figure out this screen thing. I'm going to be getting a small 10 or 12-inch screen coming in so that I can see the chats on one side and be able to control my cameras on the other side. Um, Unless I'm missing something in the control settings of my OBS, that's the software, OBS. So yeah, we're gonna figure that out. But as I said, my workshop is a mess right now. Uh, Even the way I have the vacuum system hooked up to the new saw. We'll talk about that when we get over to the new saw there. And all right, so I think that's enough yakety yak. Not sure if anybody is really going to be on today in the chat, mainly because technically I'm starting an hour early. Yeah, I'm a wreck right now. I did not sleep very well last night. I just, ugh. And then of course they set the clocks, let's see, spring forward. So I lose an hour of sleep. So what my normal wake up time of 3 a.m. is now, for the last 6 months, technically becomes 2 a.m. until I can readjust the body, which will take me a little bit. I used to be able to flip my clock really, really quick. Um, but nowadays it is getting harder as I get older. It's oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We'll see how this goes. But I would fly over to Taiwan, which you basically flip the clock 11 hours ahead, and upon landing, generally I had to be at work within 6 hours because I flew business class. And theoretically, you're supposed to be able to um, sleep in business class. You're pampered, blah, 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 blah. But man, if I even got 15 minutes total of cat naps when I was flying, when I was traveling globally, yeah, no, it didn't work. But what would happen? I would um, do like between 36 and 40 hours of travel, flip my clock 11 hours, be at work within 6 hours. So we were working on base by 8 o'clock in the morning. We'd work until 5 or 6 o'clock, then have to drive the hour back to New Taipei, for example, or where we were. It was only 30 minutes when I was in Germany, for example. Um, we would then go, let's see, I forgot. We go out to eat. So by that time, 5, 6 o'clock, so 6 or 7, then you'd eat, you'd be back in by 9. So, I'd be going 2.5 days without sleep, without real sleep. So that kind of stunk. Anyway, let's talk about what is going on right now. Let me see something here. I'm trying to adjust. Um, we don't really have anybody on right now, so that's kind of a shame, but I kind of expected that. So today will be a very simple, be a very quick day. Um, and then I'm going to be working on the workshop. So, what is this box? Well, as you know, I make toys. So in this box contains 10 toys, and I have dos, tres, no, dos, eins, zwei, eins, zwei, yeah, zwei. Um, Toys, various toys. So if you remember the video from last week or watched John's live stream, I was finishing up toys. So there was a lot of small little toys such as, let's see, a little race, I wouldn't call it a race car. It looked more like a Volkswagen. So a Volkswagen pickup truck, a bus. I have one of my dogs that is the mascot. I have a pickup truck. I have a race car, the one that's modeled after the 1950s racer. Hey, JJE, welcome aboard. Just revealing what's in one of two of these boxes right now. Let's see, what else do I have? Let's see, I had the dog in there. The simple car, the larger cars. I don't know if I can, I know it's on my Facebook, and let me see if I can, I don't even know the address of my Facebook. Isn't that a shame? That's terrible. What is the Facebook? Let me switch over to it. I mean, you can see these, actually, you can see these, nope, it hasn't published yet. Let me go to Poppy's Workshop, and I will tell you what my address is. It's rather simple to know what it is. But of course, it's facebook.com. After the first slash altogether, if you put Poppy's Workshop, then .va for Virginia, Victory Alpha, .beach. That is my Poppy's Workshop Facebook, and you will see what is in it. So now that I'm in it, let's see, what do I have? I have a dinosaur, I have a tractor, I've got the 1950s racer that you can actually get the plans on, oh, my mind just went blank. Oh, what's his name? Shoot, I am so tired right now. This is terrible. Oh, who's the one who does all the simple plans and everything? Oh no, he helps the community so much. Oh, this is terrible. Anyway, I'll remember it sometime. Let's see. Oh, I've got my rocking rolling hippo. I decided to put that in there. Dump truck, the cars, and a couple medium-sized horses, and then 2 sets of those 3 that I just described to you. So I've got 2 boxes of these, 20 that will be going to the Hampton, Virginia Police Department. This is going to be for their community outreach, which is real cool. So apparently what they do is they meet with kids every month. They have a couple events every month. And when they reached back to me, he was thrilled and said, yeah, this will be great, be able to give some toys to the kids. Some of the bigger events have 10 kids, so I don't know. We may go through these pretty quick. So that's what's here, and let me just get this out of the way, and I will be back momentarily. So we have that, and you're wondering, wow, he's not on the workbench. On the workbench, I have a few things that I wanted to show you. You might have seen the plans for this. So this is one of another type of car that, Steve Good, thank you. Oh my gosh. There are some times that I think I am losing my mind. It's terrible. So here is, Oh, and that's what else I put in. Oh, wait, no, that was for. I did another box, and that was for the Riverside Medical Center. Is I just did the handoff of a box Friday, so it's going to be delivered by the head nurse tomorrow. She's on for like 14 hours straight. Um, but yeah, when they heard about I make toys and give them away, they're like, "Do you think you'd give them to us?" Of course. So right now, the wheels. I have to redo the axle. This was just a spare axle, but this is one of the old timey cars. And last week, I think I cut out a couple other old timey cars, and that's what I gave to the to Riverside. They are a trauma center, trauma hospital, one of the biggest ones on that side of the water. We call that the Peninsula, which is on the other side of the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. And then this is called the South Side, so we're south on Route 64 on the other side of the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. So that's where Hampton is. That's where Newport News, where the Riverside is. So I wanted to show this. I cut this out yesterday. If you remember the triune wood from last week that I did. So this now has to go on to the Frankenrouter table. But everything's dry fit here. I'm deciding whether I want to do the rattle portion. Let me get that a little bit closer with the three. I love the sound it makes. Let me get it close. Whether I want to do it with the 3 rings or 1 beehive. 2 beehives would be a little bit too much. I tried doing it with 2 rings and a beehive. I just didn't like the way it looked. So I do a lot of dry fitting, shaking, looking, trying to figure out what it all looks like. And you'll notice that my peg comes from the bottom, and next time around I'm going to do it at an angle, but I've got to get a longer drill bit in order to do that, or make the hole a little bit smaller, which is, I could easily do that as well, come back a little bit. But I wanted the kid to be able to grab onto it. So these are things when I'm looking at toy designs, modifying toy designs or whatever. But I decided to drill from the bottom rather than from the top, so that way you don't see, that little round dowel thing. No big deal, but it just, again, it's just aesthetics, and I want to make it look nice. So let's put that down. So you probably wonder, why are we on the drill press? Well, we're going to do some drilling. And in this case, we're going to look at this. This is actually a ladder, and you'll see from this, there are 3 layers. And you're like, why do you have 3? Well, this is what I am making is going to be a very simple fire engine. And we're going to cut that out on the table on the new Pegasaw. So we're doing that. So you can see that on each side there is 1 ladder. And you'll say, wait, but you've got 3. Well, that's in case I screw up. No. What it is, this is my donor piece. So I'm going to be using I think it's a 17 or 18 millimeter Forstner bit. And I'm going to drill all the way through, about 3/4 of the way through the donor piece. That way, hopefully, it's not going to tear the middle pieces. When I did it yesterday, dummy me, I grabbed some wood. I said, "Oh, this looks good." I didn't even look at the sides, and it wound up being some Baltic birch plywood, which I only use that when I use my laser. So we're using that there, and we're going to drill these out. I'm going to just do it by eye, and hopefully they'll all be set. I don't know. I probably shouldn't do it by eye. Being how tired I am right now, I don't know. Let's see. I thought I had a pencil here. Let me move a few things around. Because like I said, as I got the new Pegasus, it is kind of messy. Let me get a light turned here so I can see. And I really like these these angles. I have the one that I keep in my work apron, but you know, you have the different holes here, and that way you just get your pencil into it and then just whoop, and you can draw a line real easy. So let me see. I think I will have to go like this, go like that. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna have to calculate. Let me make sure I got a pencil out. Yep. I think it's going to be 5/8 is the middle. So we'll put the pencil in and just go like that, like that. There we go. Now I can get it. I think I'm a little bit low. Yeah, I'm a little bit low. I should have just done it by eye. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, that's even. My eye says that it's not, but I'm going to do that by eye. I'm usually pretty good when I do things by eye, but what I'll also do with the Forstner is as I lower it down, as it peels away the paper, I can see where it actually is. So let's see. I want to double check. You know, I removed one of these. I may need it after all. I just sometimes don't like things in the way. There we go. All right, so I set my stops. It will just break through the wood on the bottom, and I think it goes all the way through the second on the cut. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And let's see. All right, I think we're ready to begin. Oh, and one of the other things I wanted to show you what I'll do, maybe the only thing that I paint. Of course, you have the emergency light up. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. You can see the emergency light on the top. And what I'm going to do is I have a peg. And I am going to cut the bottom of the peg off. I'll drill a hole just a little bit into the wood here, and it'll go right on top. And again, this is an inch thick, so if this was the top view, you can see that it will fit right in the white area, and that would be a top view. And I think it'll look really cool. And this, believe it or not, this design came off of Pinterest. You can find a number of things on Pinterest that are real nice. Unfortunately, the designer names have been lost. It's kind of a bummer, but you know, I try to give credit where credit's due on that. So let's begin. We're going to get a little bit of noise, and right now my vacuum system is kind of wonkified a little bit. Usually I had the blue hose going over the lock line. Well, I took that lock line and I put it on the new Pegasaw. So we'll see what happens there. So let's see. Oh, I missed the message that got redacted. That might have been interesting. But yeah, this one I will probably give to my grandson. Yeah, I could tell. Actually, I'm right on that line that I drew. Here we go. And I may have to anchor this. Yeah, I feel the wood moving a little bit in my hand. There we go. Let me turn that off for a sec. Yeah, that actually just started coming through. And let me bring it up to the camera. And this is what I like about the Mystery Machine. No. The Mystery Machine was just a typical, I think it was a Ford or a Chevy van. I forgot what it was, Scooby-Doo. And again, I mean, this kind of looks like it, but it's supposed to be a fire engine. Let me see, where is, oh, there it is, okay. I may use a little assistance. I have two of these, and I can't find the other. And I really like these hold downs. They work really well. And, just an extra hand. So I'm going to put a partial tight-ish and get this lined up first. And I don't know if I like it that way because I still put my hand on it. I'll do it that way. There we go. I think that'll work a little bit better. So let me crank that just a wee bit. There we go. Yeah, so what I'm actually doing is I'm lining up the edge of the bit. Let me get my hand out of the way. There we go. I think that, if you can see it. I've got the line of the circle, and of course I've got the 4 points of the Forstner bit, and I'm going to push it down, and then I'm going to anchor it with this. There we go. And normally I can do this a lot faster, but of course, and you know something? I'm almost dead center on that that cut. So my center line was correct. And using a Forstner is messy. It is really messy. But that hole looks off. Oh, man. I should trust myself. Yeah, that's off a little bit. Shoot. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to trust myself instead. Always trust yourself. Second guess. Somehow or another, I went down. I don't know how. I'm going to try and, what I didn't do is spin that. Why it's off, I don't know. Oh, well, I'm probably going to wind up redoing this. Sorry, my hand's in the way. Well, actually. Yeah, that one lines up with the other one. Yeah, somehow I dropped. I gotta clean the bit. And you will notice my vacuum goes on and off automatically. I'm trying to bring that back. Let me flip this the other way. I'm trying to bring that back for most of my machines. Unfortunately, for the scroll saw, it doesn't draw enough current to get that lined up. It doesn't draw enough current to trigger it, whereas all my other saws do. Yeah, that's dead center. Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, those things happen, I'll wind up redoing this. This was some scrap mahogany, 1/8 inch, 3 millimeter. Okay, that's off. Let me clean that. Yeah, so I'm spinning the bit so I can, and I'm anchoring it down, I'm pushing, and then anchoring it down here. There we go. Let me get my hand back here. Whoop. There we go. Let's get that out of the way. And see what this looks like. I'm going to wind up redoing it. What a bummer. Alright, that's clean enough for now. Alright, so let me get that cleaned out a little bit. And you can see this one dropped, the second right where my finger is. And that is really obvious how bad that is. So I have to redo this piece, but I want to show what happens in cutting it out. Because what I did, I just used some CA glue. I put a little dot on the two pieces below, here and here, to hold it together. So I'll do the one long straight cut and then loop off, and it should all just break apart nicely. And it would have looked nice, but now it doesn't. We'll see what we do. I mean, I could, no, I can't even do that. I was going to say I could cut off, but it's only going to be a ladder, you know. So if I cut it there to simulate the half, it'll be too short. I mean, I may use it for other things. I could do that. I won't throw it away. I'll put it in my bin of potential reuse. I do that with pegs. You know, for example, when I do pegs, I don't know if I have one here. Nope. When I do pegs on wheels as the axles, I cut off the little end because they're too long, and I use those for other things, like I use them for oil cans, for example. So let's switch over to another camera, which will be, of course, where is my scroll saw? There we go. All right, we are on the scroll saw now. And let me see what is going on. Okay, the mystery machine. Yeah, I remember that, you know. Hey, Raggy, I love you. Yeah, so Scooby-Doo, where are you? Had the flowers, all the colors and everything. Pretty cool. As a kid, I always enjoyed it. You look back now, I remember when my kids started watching it, like, oh, really now? Ugh. All right, so let's get cutting. So what I am going to do, and here's why. This is the new Pegasus, a new Pegasus. This is the 30-inch model. And it's, wow, that's kind of big. Yeah. Part of me, I'm kicking myself. I don't know if I'm going to use I'm going to use all the real estate on this because I do mainly smalls, but it may become a forcing function and make me do, let me lower the light here. I'm still trying to figure out positioning and all that stuff in the workshop, because right now everything's in a semicircle, which is really nice. So if I start from the left in my workshop, and again, I think one of the pictures on my Facebook, you can actually see the workshop as a mess right now, is I start on the left at the 180, so call that 9 o'clock, and I have my drill press that we were just on. Then a little bit to the right of that is the small workbench. Then if I'm at almost 12 o'clock, I have the computer, cameras, and all that. Then at approximately 2 o'clock, I have the the scroll saw, and that's on a cart, you know, a cabinet cart. Fits perfectly. And again, you'll see a picture, and the reds match and everything. Kind of weird. Then go to about, oh yeah, 3-ish o'clock. I have my small 1x21 belt sander, and that also has a 5-inch disc. And then to the right of that, I have my little Wen 10-inch drill press. And I brought that back because I thought, I'm constantly changing bits and everything. What I can do is just leave a small pilot bit in there and whip out my pilot holes as I need them, and then do my bigger Forstners, my bigger holes, my barrel mop sanding, all that stuff that is really more finishing work for the sanding. So I think that'll work out well. So the top on this, rather than being that silver, really silver, is a black, and it causes some weird reflection. So if I turn my light all the way up and get it closer, you can see that reflection. So I'm turning it down so you can see without glare. Also, I'm trying to get positioned to the lights in the workshop. So you're probably wondering, man, why is he doing such simple? Well, here's the issue that I have right now. Let me get this out of the way. So this is what we're going to cut. Very simple, straight lines, a curve in the back. The issue that I have right now is I'm trying to get used to this new saw. And when I had my number 5 blade in, it kept drifting to the left. And it's like, dang, what the heck is going on? Why is it doing that? I'm going to cut off all this extra right here. Let me find a small place. I'm going to see what I can use this scrap for. How am I going to do that? I'm just going to waste it and go like this. Let me turn the vacuum on, get cutting a little bit. And the other issue that I have, I need more speed. So it kept drifting to the left. My other vacuum just went on. So it is connected to it. That is odd. So I got to check my wiring, where I'm plugged in. So I have an outlet that handles the automatic turning on of the dust extractor. Let me get this tail off. So one of the other issues that I have right now in getting things set up is my light is actually connected to my cart. So on the right side over here, let me go back a little bit so you can see. So it is connected to the cart here, meaning I only have 8 inches or so, and I will hit that. Where before, up against the wall to the right of me, this was connected to the wall and up a little bit higher, so I had all that space. So again, this is on a cart, and I'll figure out how I want to position things. I may wind up putting this on a stand, or I have a longer arm, and I'll connect it to the back of the cart if I possibly can. I may have to drill the connector in, or take the one from the wall and put it there. I'm not sure how I want to do that. But let's, is this sucking? Yep, that's sucking. I find the funny thing is, like I said, I'm using the, where am I right now? Let me see how I want to cut. I guess we'll start here. This way, my entry and exit is going to be hidden by, let me get the light down a little bit, will be hidden by the, can you see? Yeah, I guess I'm not sure if you can see my line. Not quite sure. Let me see here. Trying to see. Kind of quiet in the chat today. I think there's only one person on. So what I do is my exits and entries, I try and hide them, whether it's in a corner, uh, inside or outside corners, or where the wheel will be. This way, I mean, I can smooth it out, but this way, if there's any flaw, it's hidden regardless. So let's get going here. Let me get my light. I need a little bit more light for my old eyes. And let's get that more out of the way so you can see. I wish they had added a couple more. I gotta, just so much I've got to adjust to. So anyway, I'm using a number 10 Pegasus because I am going through the much thicker wood, and it's tracking correctly. So my plan right now is just to get used to the new saw. Start with the, be with the number 10 blade where I can be successful in staying on. I think I need more speed. And let me tell you, when I first turned on the saw, the difference between that and my old Excalibur was night and day. Virtually no vibration. When they say whisper quiet, it was whisper. I mean, it was like, I mean, that's too loud, what I'm doing. So it was whisper quiet. It is. And, I could look and see the bearings look larger. They're sealed bearings. They just look so much nicer. Now, I'm drifting just a little bit, not much, but that may be because this light is touching my hand and I'm talking. So, back to the number 10. I'll start with that. Then, when I get to a little bit thinner, when I go to 3/4, for example, maybe I'll go to the number 7 Flying Dutchman, see how that tracks, and make adjustments. I have a feeling, even though my arm is parallel to the table, front to back, I think I need to tension it a little bit more to keep that blade from drifting. Let me rest my arm for a second. I'm also a little bit lower in the seat than I'm used to. I've got to raise my foot pedal. Yeah, that's tracking on the line nice. If I pay attention to what I'm doing. And I think I'm going to smooth out this corner a little bit. I'm not going to go sharp. Because usually I profile those sharp edges anyway. So then, once I get used to the 7, go down to the 5, the 3, the 1, and see what I need to do to stay on the lines. So that is my plan. Because I'll tell you, when you're cutting and all of a sudden you cannot stay on the line, your confidence goes out the window. I mean, you can see right now on this straight, I am splitting the line. On this turn, I'm off just a hair, but well within tolerance. So that brings me to say in my mind, okay, it's not necessarily me or my technique that is wrong, because right now, I'm going on straights and I'm splitting that line. So I know it's not me because Scroll Saw Village, when I was having problems with my Excalibur and I could not stay on the line, all the suggestions were more about technique in the beginning, and I tried to clarify that, saying, look, I did 3 toys, they came out perfect. I got to the 4th toy, and I could not stay on it. The 5th toy, the 6th toy, something was going on. And I did all my preventive maintenance. I checked the level of the blade. I checked the arm, front to back, the table, front to back, side to side. You know, this is, there we go. But I spent most of, let's see, I'll tell you, here's service for you. Because my Excalibur had croaked and I was having trouble getting it going. I think I fixed it. Tuesday morning of last week, I pulled the trigger and bought the 30-inch Pegasus from Bear Woods. It was 5:30 in the morning. I didn't realize it. I never got the email. They shipped it the same day. I received it Thursday. I think my wife said that it came in at noontime. And the UPS driver was nice enough to slide it in the garage for my wife, because it does weigh 120 pounds shipped. And I spent time getting it ready to be lifted onto the U.S. General cart. It's the service cart. I removed the chrome handles that would have prevented it from seating properly in the the top. And got that ready, and when my son-in-law got home, since my daughter and son-in-law, they bought a house 3 doors down, and they were taking my grandson out for a walk. Get that lined up, get that out of the way. He came and helped lift it into place. And then from there, finished up running the electrical on the cart and installing the top vac, which, as I said, I am using from the drill press. So I found that was a little bit too small. That's the temporary hose that I have on right now that you saw, because it just was not large enough to handle when I do Forstner cuts, Forstner drilling. So this way, when I'll keep working on the Excalibur. Like I said, I think I've got it fixed, or at least temporarily fixed. I think I need a new, the big knob at the back of the saw that handles the tension. I think that it maybe stripped the, not the knob, but the bolt that it controls. So I'm going to, at some point, see if I can get some Loctite into it. Oh, my arms are getting tired. I don't like being this low. Let me raise myself up a little bit. I have this tilted not as much as the Excalibur. I may tilt the table this way a little bit more. Yeah, much better being up higher. Because with the tilt, I can relax my arms quite a bit more. All right, home stretch. Let me anchor that with my fingers. There we go. Okay, so it should drop right out. Yep. Let's get that out of the way for a moment and show you something. Usually, when I cut, let me turn off the suction, get this out of the way. Usually when I cut, I will um, actually put the straight line here down here so it avoids this long cut here. I try and do that. That helps speed up the production. But I didn't have my sander set up, and I didn't get this exact. Usually I just try and get that perfect when I glue it together. I didn't, so I had to do it by hand. But if you look, you will see, I think, well, let me do this. Let me get my angle here, and you can see the accuracy that I have on that. So let me get it, and okay, that is top to bottom. Let's see, let's do it that way. Okay, yeah, here we go. So I got to do it not where my cut was. So almost halfway through, if you take a look here, you can see I am right up against the angle. That's how straight my cuts are. Let me flip this around. Okay, and there you go. You can see, let's see, try and tilt it. It's maybe a hair. You can see a hair variance, but by eye you can't tell. So I've worked really hard on my technique to get that, to get those cuts on the lines, to get my straight. So yeah, here's what this will look like. Imagine it in the middle. So that's, let me tilt it so you can't see. There you go. So that's what it'll look like when I drill that hole in and place that. So I think that works well, you know. You can use your pegs for very creative things. You know, I use it as on the back of my boat. And yeah, that I didn't give, I don't think I had any boats to give away. So we'll do that. All right, I think that kind of covers that. We have to drill a hole there for that. This has to go on the Franken router so I can profile the edges. And I don't think I need this anymore, so I can peel this off. And this particular one, if I remember correctly, yep, I'm trying to feel it right now. I used clear shelf liner paper, and I used the 3M77. So you can see how easily that came off. So that's the clear shelf liner. I think it's 3M. Or nope, it's Gorilla. So I get it on Amazon. You can go to the dollar store and get clear. You know, I don't. Maybe you could use pattern. I don't know, but the clear works best for me. The 3M77 is the really, it sticks. So we can use that. The other one that I use, I'm running out, but I bought another type, was the Krylon Easy Tack, which I apply directly to the paper and to the wood and doesn't leave any residue. A little bit, I wouldn't say it's harder to remove. Most of the times it'll come off real nice. Sometimes it comes off too soon. But I use that in particular when I'm carving, and I have the you know, I'm doing a love spoon or whatever. That way I can keep the pattern on, and as I carve, it just comes right off, where I wouldn't be able to do it with the plastic shelf liner. It just wouldn't help. So that's why I do that, so I can maintain the pattern as I'm carving. So let me give this just a quick, usually after I usually after I cut, I just do a quick sand, do the edges a little bit, especially with the Pegasus blades. Pegasus is not quite as clean as the Flying Dutchman, but they are aggressive, they last. That number 10 gives me a straight line, as you can see. So I just do this, make sure there's no, I don't want to call it imperfections, but any burrs or whatever that will affect what I do on the router table. And then I can start getting a general idea of what things are going to look like. I will finish this when everything is said and done in raw linseed oil because it just brings out the chocolate in the walnut. And I forgot what I had here. I think it's birch. That's in the sandwiched in the middle. But I like that effect. If you remember, the other toys I did was the opposite. It was light on the outside and dark on the inside. And those I did not finish because I find a lot of times, well, all the time, with the white wood and linseed oil, it starts to yellow or kind of pick up a bone color. So sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And on certain toys like the rattles and some of the cars, I leave this unfinished and it just looks so much better for the piece itself. Again, I try and consider aesthetics as much as possible. And let's see, you know, this is what is supposed to happen, and then we'll cut that out next. And that's going to go there. So let's cut this, see what happens. Like I said, I'm really disappointed that one I slipped. Man, that's a good solid 1.5 millimeters. And this is another mistake that I made. Oops, let me get this off here. I have the shelf liner on the bottom, and you know, let me do this. Let me try this first. I could feel the bumps of the bit passing through when I place it down, and this is still, I think this wood is warped just a little bit. This is, when you're dealing with 1/8 inch, you know, you're dealing with a lot of, let me get the fan spun up. I should have actually made the piece a little bit bigger. This way I would have had a little bit more room to guide on this side. So when you're cutting small pieces, if you can give yourself, ooh, I gotta slow that down. Forgot I'm going through a lot smaller, thinner. Now let me zoom in a little bit for you. Yeah, I think that works. I might need more speed. Here we go. As I said, I'm going to redo this for the third time. I'm drifting a little bit. This wood definitely handles differently. Wow, it's 3 pieces of wood. I don't really like doing stack cutting much because you're going through multiple layers of different grain. So that's something always to consider, especially when you're in hardwood. I gave up on my Easter Resurrection cross. I tore off the 3rd layer because it was 3 different woods, 2 different thicknesses, and it just drove me up a wall. Yeah, I can see the pieces bouncing a little bit. Let's see what it looks. Oh, yeah, I can't see what it looks like on this side. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my straights first, because again, there's a dab of glue in the semicircle. But what's going to happen though, and I just thought of this, is when I'm halfway through, no, actually maybe not. It should be okay, the glue holding. But I'll make sure that I'm anchoring the pieces to keep them from sliding apart. You know, and I'm wondering if I should do the holes by hand rather than the Forstner. But no, I think what I'll do is do a little bit more accurate measuring, get that center point so that I just put that center pin right down from the drill bit. Let's see. Okay, let's get this one. Yeah, that doing it, doing the straights first work. Because what I was thinking of doing is I would have just gone zoop, zoop, and zoop. But I think this works better because of the way the dab of CA glue is seated, holding these together. This is going to be a little bit trickier because technically this end now is free. Okay, here we go. Yeah, come on. This will never become a production toy just because there's so much work involved in it. Oop, I cannot see. Gotta see those lines. Yeah, that bit was fraying my edges a little bit. Usually when I do a Forstner bit cut, I will do a pilot hole first, and that may be what I do on this, is I will do a pilot hole first. Wait a second, let me pay attention to this. Here we go, let's see if it comes apart. Yes. Well, a little glue got there, but not too bad. So when I do Forstner bits, generally, oh man, that is horrible. Look at that. That's a shame. I got to figure out what I'm going to do to save that. Yeah. You can just see that one that dropped. Ah, I got to think about that. Yeah, actually, it almost, my eye makes it look like it's going down. That may, you know, we're going to find out. Hold on for a sec. The angle never lies. Let's see how we're going to do this. Okay, there we go. I'm just trying to see. 3 dimensions, Rick. Come on. There we go. Let me. Yeah, that is. These 2 are off in the middle here. So if I try and connect 1 and 5, that one being low, or if I do it this way, I get my glasses so I can see. Yeah, it's going down. All right, so we'll redo it. That's okay. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. So back on the Forstner bits, being that these are thin, I decided to go all the way through my live pieces. Let's see, yeah, I did use a, I can't see, let me see the camera here, so you can see what I'm doing. Just removing that. So I decided to go all the way through my 2 live pieces, as you can see, that they were together. And then my donor piece, I just tried to go through halfway. This way, you don't have tear out on the back side. I also have, on the back side of the second piece, I did have some shelf liner. And the shelf liner was already on because this was cut from another project. As I said, it was scrap. And I will leave the plastic on. There we go. So I don't waste. You know, I try and save as much as possible. So, man, I'm sorry about that. Just kind of phlegmy, clogged up. So yeah, I go all the way through to the halfway through on the donor piece, and that's one way to do it. Or let's say that this was a singular piece. You can either add a donor piece and go all the way through, or what I do is I drill my pilots all the way through, and then what I will do is I will drill about 3/4 of the way through on the top. And again, think of this as a single hardwood piece of wood. I'll go 3/4 of the way through, then flip it over. Then you have that small pilot hole. That way, when you go through the opposite way, the remaining quarter, but I smooth it out through 1/2 and 3/4 all the way through, so you have a smooth cut. It matches the top hole exactly, and that's how I do the Forstner 2 different ways. So let's see what this is supposed to look like when all's said and done, when it's not screwed up. If I remember correctly, let me look at the picture. It hangs out this far. So this would be glued on like this, and probably matching the top here. It may go up, I'm not sure. I'll decide on that when I actually decide to glue. But, oh, wrong way. Wait a second, let me look at the picture. That is the back window, and the half just touches. Yeah, so it just touches. That is what it's supposed to look like. So there you go. Yeah, I'm going to recut this. I got to go look at my scrap bin, see what I have, and go from there. But meanwhile, I think that will just about do it for the day, or for this this live feed from the studio. Always with the warts and all, my failures, my successes. Hopefully you get a couple tips out of the way, and you learn something. If not, I don't know. I try. But what I plan on doing right now is, after I shut down the computers, is I'm going to look at how my um, everything is plugged in. Um, I did have a new hose come in yesterday for 2.5. It was a 10-footer that I'm using for my sander right now, and I can just unplug it and plug it into this if I want, which was the original goal. Right now I do have it into my 4-inch, but again, I don't like the way the lack of power in the suction. Um, yeah, and I'm just going to organize things and uh, try and get the shop cleaned up the way it's supposed to be. Get those 2 boxes put in my car so that they can be delivered to the police department this week, and see what happens. But I'm hoping that I can get in contact with Operation Smile, which is the next. It's an international organization that helps kids with cleft palate, cleft lip, and bringing normality back to their lives. They do beautiful work, and I never realized. I mean, I've been exposed to them when I was at Family Life, 30 years ago. Um, that they're actually based in Virginia Beach. They're not too far away from where I live. Um, I generally don't go south of Route 264. 264 pretty much runs west to east from Norfolk to the ocean front, and I stay to the north most of the time. Though there's some really great restaurants and stuff south, um, but with traffic and everything, it can be a nightmare. But yeah, they're just south. Um, in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So yeah, hopefully I can get connected up with them, get some toys in their hands for these kids and the great work that they do, and become a part of that. But yeah, time to clean up. Hopefully next week what we'll be doing, we'll just be carving next week. There is a video coming out Tuesday, which was changing the chuck. So I put my old Excalibur back on in one of my tests to see if it was the chuck that was failing. Yeah, that's how detailed I got. Is the chuck failing or not? So when I switched back to this, I decided to do a video, I think it's 10 minutes, on how to change the chuck. And it's easy, 2 bolts. But, you got to make content. You got to make content. Remember to visit my work, poppysworkshop.org, all together, no apostrophes or anything. And again, if you want to see Facebook, let me get that boosted up again. It is, of course, poppysworkshop.va.victor.alpha.beach. So for Virginia Beach, so poppysworkshop.va.beach. Unfortunately, somebody else had the other one, and it's like, bummer. They had Poppy's Workshop, but they haven't used it in like 2 or 3 years. So you'll see right off the bat pictures of the toys that are going to the Hampton Police Department being boxed up. You'll see in the background the Pegasus as I was working on it. It wasn't put in place. You could just rotate the back 45 degrees towards you. And I did a lot of changes since then. But you'll see some of the press releases for the Riverside Regional ER, a little bit more information of some of the toys that I cut out. And again, a lot of it is repeated on my poppysworkshop.org. And you can always keep up there, sign up for the newsletter. And as I do press releases, as I do a blog post, you can be automatically emailed a snippet of it, so then you can go click on it and read it if you desire. I try not to do more than 2 blog posts a month, and then also add in the press releases. That may be 1 or 2 a month, sometimes 0 if nothing's really happening. But I try not to flood your email. I don't want to spam you or anything like that. But just check that all out. So I think that concludes things for today. May the Lord richly bless you. Make it a great day right here in Poppy's Workshop.